Rearing its stubborn rock through Atlantic breakers, off the lonely Shetland stands Unst, isle and nursery of teeming gannets. Here, once a year, come flights of seabirds, lured by the isolation of an island, the most northerly point in the British Isles. Here to renew their courtships, to breed, and then to fly away. Gannets build their nests of grass and seaweed on the bare face of the rock. Both parents share the duties of incubation, which lasts for 44 days. Renewing the immemorial trysts of their species, gannets return faithfully each year to the scene of their birth and breeding. Only death can end the pilgrimage to the island. London University graduate Rex Dutta and his wife are in the fish business, but not in the normal meaning of the term. They do a flourishing trade breeding rare varieties of tropical fish, like these dainty angel fish, for example. They're tiny, exquisite, and so tame they eat from their owner's hand. Rex has plenty to choose from, including these formidable 2-inch Siamese fighting fish. Specially bred champions like these will fight for some 6 hours, if not prevented. In Siam, betting on the contests is as organized as our football pools, complete with an annual festival for the championship. And now, a rare species of electric eel. Rex breeds these too, and knows that joke about AC and DC. This eel transmits enough electricity, in fact, to administer a shock or to light up a lamp. It's a rare and enterprising occupation, so let's wish Mr. and Mrs. Dutta good luck and a different kind of fish cue. Meet Mr. Southon, garage proprietor of King's Road, Shalford, Surrey. As a hobby, Mr. Southon takes a kind of busman's or garage proprietor's holiday and collects old Crocks. But crock is an unkind word for this French 10-horsepower 2-cylinder job made in 1901. With all its original parts, it still goes. So does this 350cc motorcycle made in the same year. No tax payable then, merely 1 shilling per year for the number plates. And what's this? Just one of Mr. Southon's collection of 12 tricycles and 61 bicycles. But Mrs. Southon, like all good wives, wants to be taken out for an outing. Mr. Southon starts the engine and hopes for the best. With everything under control, the joys of the open road are all theirs, as long as the weather stays fine. The old car is in good hands, for Mr. Southon has entered the London-Brighton Old Crocks race on 9 occasions, and each time has stayed the course. To show his versatility, here are 2 of his own creations. The big one ridden by Ronnie Med. The tyres are old aeroplane tyres, 36 inches by 8. Together with his other stunt cycles, it's brought in over £100 for charity at fetes and fairs. The other is ridden by daughter Dorothy. With 61 bicycles to choose from, she picks this one. The only reason we can think of is that it's so nice when you get off. The Cuckoo Clock, housed in the familiar Swiss chalet, now takes on a Tudor look, because for the first time Mr Cuss in his centuries-old workshop is making them in England. And when the cuckoo sounds, you can bet your life there are springs not far behind, to say nothing of cogwheels and all the rest, expertly made by first-class craftsmen. The brass plates are machined and drilled and moulded into shape, for every clock is individually made. All the many and varied parts are then assembled and the mechanism is adjusted. And so to the cuckoos themselves, of cast aluminium, which are hand-painted in natural colours. The cuckoo's pipes, made by a firm of well-known organ builders, are checked for tone and mounted, together with the movement, onto a test board for final adjustment. Then, with hands, weights and pendulums attached, you can just sit back and get the bird. Follow the fleet on Malpec Bay in Prince Edward Island, which, though it's Canada's smallest province, still manages to produce the world's fattest oysters. Taking 7 years, they grow in the rich sea mud, along with crabs, which are harmless to them, and starfish, the oyster's worst neighbour. These public enemies prise open the shells and suck poor bivalve to death. Hence this preliminary operation, catching starfish by their spines, later to be used as fertilizers on ordinary string mops. From dawn till dusk, fishermen are out using tongs attached to long poles. Like two garden rakes hinged together, their teeth gather only the large oysters, and every one under 3 inches goes back. Dredging as many as 5 barrels full a day, 600 to the barrel, worth up to £20 each, oystermen gather rich rewards. The fishing goes on without a break for 3 months. Over beds further offshore, the oystermen go after the harvest of the deep with drag scoops. Quick fingers return the immature bivalves to fatten for another season. Though never a pearl, fortunes every year are lifted from the deep. Britain's Air Force sees service in many parts of the world, and so do these Royal Air Force police dogs. They're all thoroughbred Alsatians, trained to the minute, and this is their leader, Storm, a 5-year-old white Alsatian. Like the rest, he's a regular service type, complete with number tattooed on left ear. They're specially bred and trained at Staverton in Gloucestershire. Training begins at the age of 12 months and lasts for 6 weeks for handler and dog. After training, they're posted to stations in the United Kingdom for 6 months, and then returned to Staverton for classification into proper service grades. This is a very special routine designed to ferret out natives who burrow like rabbits under the aerodrome wires. The dogs are taught to drive them out of it, and tunnelling work is an excellent preliminary. When training is complete, they're ready for anything from attack by sticks to gunfire. When posted, their handlers automatically go with them. Hello, what's this? It looks as if a little action is called for. By day or night, he can smell out an intruder better than his handler could hope to, and once he's on the scent, nothing will stop him. The criminal in this case is Sergeant Justice, and by now he must be having doubts about the job. Luckily, the dog is well trained, and a word from his handler is enough to call him off. It looks like a complete surrender. Aha, a tricky customer, but he won't get far. To any self-respecting thief, the sight of a policeman must be very welcome after being at close quarters with such an adversary. This time, he's really had enough. So, happy landings to Britain's dogs of war.
How do the red letters get into a stick of seaside rock? Now, this is the story of 2 words, Brighton Rock, and how they find their way into the heart of a favourite confection. Here's the original sweet in preparation at a North London factory. This machine stretches the sweet into a rubbery mixture, giving it a smooth texture and making it pliable for easy handling later. And here's the lettering department. Thin strips of red and white sweet stuff are cut to length and fitted together one by one so that the visible ends form the outline of a letter. Each letter is built up in this way. Brothers George and Jerry Toll between them have been making rock for 56 years, a skill handed down from their father, who was at it for 48 years. Each letter is now about 2 inches high and half an inch thick. In the finished stick, it'll be stretched to no more than 1/10 of an inch. All the individual letters are now assembled into a single slab. The separate lumps of sweet, spelling Brighton and Rock, are now wrapped around a centre of white sweet, the whole weighing about 200 weight. Assembled, it measures 3 feet 6 inches and a foot thick. Still in a soft, doughy state, it moulds easily in skilled hands. Next, it's rolled into shape like a huge Swiss roll. All hands to the pulley as the lump is raised at one end to be stretched. Stretching is done by hand, 180 yards of succulent sweet that started as a lump not much longer than a walking stick. It's all taken about 50 minutes from boiling to the finished stick. "966-inch lengths of rock, and all the way through a message spelling paradise to every kid, Brighton Rock."